I do it.
Push the button and help.
Zero nicotine?
Zero.
I'm not a smoker, but I'm ready to do my homework on this.
Tastes like bubble gum.
It's a device for smokers to quit burning products into their lungs.
So it's good for me.
No, it is better than smoking. It's been around for over 10 years. I mean, nobody's died from it.
Nobody's died from it? Well, that's a claim big tobacco can't make about cigarettes. And that's the point.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My intention is to convince you that e-cigarettes should be banned in the same places where traditional cigarettes are banned. I would like to cover 4 sections in my talk today. First, the research about vaping facts. Second, problems happen and statistics of number of vapers and growth in global market. Third, actions I want to adopt regarding vaping in public area. Last but not least, the comparisons between when we stop vaping and continue vaping. Okay, let's begin by looking at the research that I found about vaping facts. The e-juice that fills the cartridge usually contains nicotine, which is extracted from tobacco, propylene glycol, flavorings, and other chemicals. Studies have found that even e-cigarettes claiming to be nicotine-free contain trace amounts of nicotines. Based on Adrian Santos Conhar's, there is evidence that non-smokers exposed to second-hand cigarette smoke. I might add that along with nicotine, non-vapers are also exposed to ultrafine particles from second-hand vape aerosols, which may increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and cancers because they are not filtered. We can imagine how many of these chemicals one is exposed to each time they stand next to a person who is vaping. Based on my personal experience, I really don't like the smell of vaping. Same goes to smoking because my nose is so sensitive. Let me add a comment here. As we all know, second-hand vape aerosols contains around 2,000 chemicals which make it extremely dangerous. Those who inhale it, hence, should not force and those who do not wish to vaping. As you can see from these quotations, smoking kills, vaping can save your life. Did we need to agree with this? Of course not, especially for our babies and kids' health. Next, let's turn to health perspective. It is very bad for our heart and lungs, not only for the first smoker, but sure for second-hand smoker around them who are vaping. By the way, let me say that it will affect our future too, as it can age our skin, and not only that, it can cause that financial crisis among family as the vaping is costly, especially flavor of vape. Did we realize that? We will notice from this statistic graph that the more the number of vapers, the higher the demand growth of vaping in global market. We should pay attention into this matter. Next, let's turn to actions I want to adopt, which is policy on no vaping is same as non-smoking at public area. To illustrate my point, consider that we will free from vaping smoke. Can we imagine that? Also, 1 meter distance from food court or recreational area. Let me give us an example. When we eat at food court, of course we want the best for our environment when we enjoy our meal. Yes, owner of the restaurant or the workers must take this opportunity to warning customer to vape at outside, far from public. But if they still do, they must strictly compound whoever vape in public areas, same like amount of who are smoking. Let's say we can do awareness campaign of compound vaping in public area to educate people. Why not, right? As you can see from this diagram, these are the effects of electronic cigarettes exposure on oral. Dental caries, respiratory disease, colon cancer. Say no to this. Let's take a look at this file. As we can see from this video, if we stop vaping, 20 minutes later, the cardiovascular will be improved. Our heart rate returns to normal. Our blood pressure drops and our circulation starts to normalize. I might add that we find our breathing becomes less labored and our airflow is clearer. A few hours later, nicotine withdrawals. Even though if we got physical symptoms include headaches, insomnia, abdominal cramps, but gradually it can decrease 3 to 4 weeks. 1 day later, heart attack risk falls. After just 1 day, our heart attack risk starts to decrease due to lowering of blood pressures and rising blood oxygen levels. After just 48 hours, without above, we may begin to notice our ability to taste and smell food has improved. After 3 months, blood circulations improve. After we quit vaping, our body circulations will begin to improve as blood vessels return to their normal diameter. After 9 months, our lungs can fight infections again. Our lung health improves thanks to the renewal of microscopic hair-like structures inside the lungs that help push our mucus and fight infections. After 1 year, heart attack risk is cut in half. On the other hand, when we continue vaping, we'll be awarded into hospital like this woman. Please, we need to avoid this. Also, vaping is dangerous as it can be exploded, like in this video. It happened in public transportation, which is bus. Sounds scary, right? For the most part, vaping is very harmful, especially if it can affect publics too. For this, we can conclude that we are together to make this policy which e-cigarettes should be banned in the same places where traditional cigarettes are banned. It is better for people if they can stop vaping. Besides, it is easy for their life as no fears of compound if they didn't break the rules. Before I end my speech, why not you scan this QR code to get direct into the link of Google form about any suggestions you guys want to add related to vaping policy. Are there any questions? No? Okay, let me share a quotations I found. Individually, we are one drop. Together, we are an audience. Thank you very much for your attention.